she's out. Picking up the sauce the other way. Well, at least you got your hand braced and stretched a little. Well, today will be a busy day. Got a 1 o'clock call coming in at a 2:30 appointment. So, what is it, 11:30? So, I'll go ahead and put you down. By then it'll be 12:30. By then the 1 o'clock call will come in.
When she say put me down, she don't mean put me down.
I mean put you down.
Put me in the bed.
Put you down.
No. Oh, Nat in here.
Want me to roll the window down? So gnats are even in the car. These are homeless tents where the people live on the street.
Yeah, it's so sad. Look at that in front of that business right there.
Yeah.
It was a business.
It's sad because they're vulnerable to the public who have a stigmatism against homeless people as if they're not educated and intelligent. And then sometimes people just do senseless and horrendous crimes, like near us in the city of San Francisco, setting people on fire.
Well, there's a lot of intelligent people that are homeless because of their circumstances. I think.
That's why I say it's a stigmatism. Doesn't mean it's right. It just means that's what people are doing, acting like they're not intelligent when we're all a penny away or a paycheck away from being homeless.
Yeah.
We were taught we may have to take people in as young children to live with you. And then those same people scorn you. And then we were taught wipe the slate clean and treat everybody with a clean slate. That's kind of a hard one too. Let's see if we can flip and see Deb. No, you see me. Hi, people. Let me see if you can see my mask. Is so cute today.
Oh, yeah, you surprised me with that time I saw you.
It's so cute
your
today.
Message.
Look at that mask.
Oh, my goodness.
It's to remind people there is a virus out here. What are you doing, people? What are you doing orbiting around? But hey, that's what people want to do. Sometimes we need the reminders. Let's see if we can see Miss Deborah. There she is.
Peekaboo.
She's got my camera in the way.
Peekaboo. My eyes are tired.
I'm in a red light. Red light, green light.
Looks like I have a black eye.
You know, something's going on with your eye. I don't know what it is,
I
but
have to get it checked out.
we forgot to tell the doctor. I meant for you to tell the doctor when we went the other day.
Yeah, I forgot to. But hey, I'm rocking my new, what do you call this thing?
Fender bender hand stretch.
Yeah, right.
I call it a fender bender.
It's my Thor hammer. It's my Thor hammer. Boom. My nephew will love this. He'll be trying to borrow it probably for a Thor hammer. But you know what? It's got the Thor power. Only my hand can fit in here. Only my hand can get made better because it's made just for me.
Well, while you have a captive audience, you might want to tell them about how you came to be in the wheelchair. This is your perfect opportunity to talk about you. You wanted an introduction video. Everybody always sees me in a video.
But I'm in the background.
Hey, you remember Vogue?
Yep.
I'm at a red light. Green light. Okay, Deborah. She's all yours. Do you want to talk about?
Well,
Do you want me to interview you?
13.
Okay, can you talk a little louder for the camera so the family can hear you?
Well, back in 2013,
2013,
I was cleaning off my back patio
cleaning off your back patio
deck.
Patio deck.
I was bending down to pick up something next to the railing. And the next thing I know is my eyes are opening seconds before I'm hitting the ground face down.
So you fell
My
forward?
head flipped to the left like this, and I was immediately paralyzed. I think our deck is like maybe 6 feet high, but it was like one of those perfect storms, what they call the perfect storm, that everything just hit. But it was like, you know, I used to hear people say like moving in slow motion. When I opened my eyes, it was like my body was moving in slow motion before I hit. And I lied there just not being able to move. Now,
Could you describe the position of your fall? Because I think you told us earlier, or me, about which position your hand was in when you fell.
yeah, my right hand flipped. This right arm was flipped backwards. Got flipped backwards, and so it looked like it was not a part of my body. I couldn't feel it. I could see it, but I couldn't feel it. It looked like it wasn't even attached to my body. The scary part was I lived in the country, so I was the only one home, just me and my 2 dogs. Now, they had left me and gone out into the field to get in the pond or whatever they do out in the field, chase rabbits, squirrels, deer. And so to stay conscious, I just started talking to God. And my first words were, please remember me. Then I started focusing on, I never focused on, am I going to die? I just focused on having a conversation with God and asking Him to remember me. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. You can talk louder if you want. I'm trying to get on the freeway, so.
Well, it's kind of hard when you're in the car on the freeway talking.
Well, I can't get you to be still and talk at home, so. While you have a captive audience,
what happened.
I can hear you. While you have a captive audience, this is a perfect opportunity to make a video.
Okay.
I think, what's interesting about the day she fell, it was a day that my son, her nephew, she helped raise, who has autism, kept calling her and calling her and calling her, and he was like, something's wrong, she's not answering. And I'm like, maybe she's busy.
Oh yeah, because before I went to clean out the back patio, he had called me, and I told him I had nothing to do. I was going to feed the dogs, and I was going to straight up the back patio, and I would call him back, and I didn't call him back, and he knew that was not my model. So the way I operated with him, because he has autism, I need to call him back, and I didn't call him back.
answering. I tried to call, but she didn't answer. And then I think he was away from the house. And he called me so much, I got tired of answering his call. But then when he got home, he said, you should answer your phone. Deborah failed. Deborah is at the hospital. Deborah can't feel anything. And I'm like, what? How do you know? I talked to her mother-in-law. You should answer your phone. And then I go, oh my goodness. Then I said, there's only one hospital in her town. And I called her, she wasn't there. And then when I called her mother-in-law, I was informed that she was flown in to a bigger hospital by helicopter. And she was conscious when she got into ER, but then shortly after that.
Well, we're jumping way ahead because I didn't finish about my, how long I was on the ground.
Okay. Do you know how long you were on the ground?
No, I don't. I just know that,
But we're going to tell how long you were on the ground?
I don't know. I have no concept of time. I just know it was a long time. And I just remember that Bible passages kept coming through my head. And I wasn't going to scream and ask for help because no one was around to help me. No one would hear my voice. So I was not going to use it until this Bible passage came to my head. And about when my God's name is Jehovah, when he had the donkey speak, because this man wasn't doing what he wanted him to do, so he made the donkey speak to him and do his and make him listen. I have a video of that donkey on my page. It's like a comedy version of that donkey video. You might want to look at it on my page, my channel. So then I said, and then there was another one, I don't know why, but about the animal. Then there was another one about if a woman is being attacked, and even though no one's around, if she doesn't scream, back in ancient times, she was held accountable to a degree. So those came through my head for some strange reason. brother-in-law was getting ready to look down on him and his wife, and he just started petting him. Because Bear, everybody loves Bear. Bear is such a friendly, good dog. He's a lab mixed with child. Beautiful black curly hair. Wavy hair. So they go in the house, and my dog comes back to me and starts the crying, licking routine on the ring. I'm crying again very hard. Please send them back. Please send my brother-in-law back. I don't know how much time went by, but then my brother-in-law did eventually come back out. Like he wanted to smoke a cigarette. So my dog left me again. Went back up to my brother-in-law. And this time he was more agitated with him, more friskier. And my brother-in-law had this look on his face like, what's wrong with this dog? I can see it. I'm laying flat. I can sit around a corner of my house and nobody can see me. So my dog started walking. He stopped like in a movie. And he looked back at my brother-in-law, stopped, walked a little further, looked back, and kept doing this. My brother-in-law decided he'd follow him to see what was going on. And that's when everything got too broken. When my brother-in-law followed him and he turned the corner of the back of our house, he saw me lying face down on the ground. And I never forget his words. My brother-in-law's name was, I hope you don't mind me saying it, but it was Ricky. He said, oh no, sis, what happened? I said, I fell, I think I broke my neck. So then everything started going fast at that moment. My brother-in-law left, my mother-in-law comes out, she gives me a blanket, she tells nobody to touch me. Other family members who live way up front start coming. They said that I called the ambulance. When the ambulance came, they asked me, had I ever lost consciousness? I said, no, I never lost consciousness. And I told him what my dog was doing. Doing to me, and I said, I kept talking and praying. He said, that is an amazing, smart dog. He said, let me tell you why. He was doing that to keep you conscious. His licking you was keeping you alert and keeping you conscious. And that gave me a whole nother appreciation for animals. And I already love bears so much. That made me love him even more. And he did that for me. And that God allowed him to do that. Jehovah allowed him to do that for me. So I stayed conscious the whole time. They kept telling me, don't close your eyes, don't go to sleep. They put a neck brace on me. I heard someone say, what's wrong with her arm? Why her arm looks like that? And that's all I remember about that. And then I've never been in the helicopter. The ambulance took me to the local hospital. And then there they already had a helicopter waiting for me. And they airlifted me from Texas to Louisiana. And I still stayed conscious the whole time in the helicopter. They kept talking to me, telling me, don't go to sleep. Don't close your eyes. Keep talking to us. And then when I got in the hospital and they put me on the hospital gurney, they were rolling me down the hall for tests, for x-rays, and I don't know what they were doing. And I got this really bad pain. All of a sudden my body woke up. I had feeling for the first time. And I screamed in pain. And they said, what's the matter? And all I can remember is I was telling them everyone was having pain, and then that was the end of it. I didn't wake up for days later. And that's when I found out. Well, I didn't really find out until after surgeries and all that. I guess they had me in a coma. I'm not sure, but I woke up with trachs in my throat, feeding tubes in my body, and I couldn't speak. I couldn't do anything but move my eyes. Couldn't move my head, neck, nothing. And I just I saw a room full of people coming in to see me, and just a whole lot of people, family and friends coming to see me. And I was trying to comprehend what was going on. It wasn't until later that I found out what was going on, but I didn't have the ability to speak, and I couldn't tell anyone what had really happened. I couldn't speak to anyone and say, I'm glad you're here, or thank you, I love you guys. I just, from lot of things happen when you don't have a voice, especially when you're in a vulnerable position where people are taking care of you, and people tend to do things, and you can't tell people, and they know that. So I prayed a lot, and so we'll get into that some other time. But that's how I became a quadriplegic in February 2013. Never forget that. Since then, my dog has died. He died earlier this year. I miss him so much. And everyone took care of him. They loved him so much for what he did for me. And my sister-in-law was beautiful. And my brother-in-law, they fed him. They took him, they fattened him. He was spoiled, well taken care of. And he had such a personality. He always felt like he could talk to you. Because that's how I raised him since he was a puppy. We had a great bond of communication. So we're home now. So that's my story for now. So stay tuned for part 2. Bye for now.
Yeah, I just want to add a little to her story. When I got the call, like I say, my son told me about her. Then...
Oh, I forgot to say my husband showed up.
Yeah.
My husband came, and it was just, I couldn't speak to him. I could see him. I could see the tears in his eyes, and I wanted to thank him so much for being there for me, too, when he came, but I didn't have the voice.
And so, once I got the word, I start preparing to come to Texas from California. And there was preparations I needed to do at home, like put food in the house, find someone to take care of the children. And so there was 1 day delay in me getting a flight. I had a flight within 2 days. Although someone told me get out immediately. I didn't. I went out the second day of her fall. And that morning before I left, I'm preparing for like a 5 o'clock flight. I'm up at 2. The ER doctor called and said she lost consciousness. That is often the case with someone with a spinal cord injury, which was a break from C3 to C5. And he goes, I need to do a trach or she's going to die. Give me permission.
My husband was on the train. My understanding is my husband was on the train traveling to get to me, and they couldn't get a hold of him on the train. So thank goodness, everyone do if something happened to you, have something in writing so people know who to contact. And if they can't contact that person, have a second person handy. So my sister was second to call off my husband, and she took the ball on it. So I let her finish.
Yeah, so I gave the doctor permission to do the trach. And then I said, I'm on my way. I'll get there. He says, I don't have time to wait on you. She's going to die. Give me permission over the phone. So I gave him permission. And then, of course, I hopped on the plane at 5. All-day transportation to get to her town. And so when I arrived at her town, she was in ER because I flew into Louisiana, and she was in ER, and they had no place to put her at this university hospital other than the burn unit, and she already had a trach. And so with her already having a trach, there was no conversation. And I looked at her, and the driver that picked us up, I said, she's trying to tell me something. I said, but I'm here. And so we stayed 14 days until she had her neck surgery and until we could place her in a rehab home to try to help take care of her for the first 14 days. But I have to say, it was one of the most what's the right word? Hardest things I had to endure or go through because she had the trach and because I had to be her power of attorney at that time in order to help pull her through. And I was also in a state that believe you have no rights. Do what I tell you, but that's not me. I want to know. I wanted to see the x-ray. I wanted to know where the break was. What were you going to do to fix it? And so, hey, we can save that for another video, because a lot happened quickly, and my primary concern was to see Deborah through that, and to see that she was safe and that she had the best care.
And I want to also, before you go, I also want to give a shout out to my husband, because he would come to the hospital and spend night after night in that hospital with me. They wouldn't let him stay long, but he would go into one of those rooms and sleep in one of those waiting rooms. He would pack a suitcase. I'd come with a suitcase, and he'd tell me, I'm going to be sleeping in that waiting room. I'll be here in the morning when you wake up. Night after night, he did that. And I have to say, I love him so much for doing that for me. I do remember it, even though I couldn't say anything at the time. I do remember and appreciate it. And even though he wasn't treated the kindest, because he didn't want to leave, he still did it anyway. So I thank him and my sister Cleo for being there for me and doing what they had to do so that I'm here today.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
That's it for now.